Well, hello there, everyone. Now I am in my kitchen. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. And if you are not aware, I did a video that on July 13th, there's a solar flare supposed to happen, and there's 17 states in the United States that will be able to be seen it. Will be able to see it. Hopefully I'll be able to see it. It depends. You're gonna have to search and look into the video to see if you're one of those states, and if you are, where in those states. Because even though it's in Maryland, it's only one specific part of Maryland that I can only see, that the Northern Lights will be visible. However, that is not the point. Today I am here to share with you guys a recipe that I'm going to be trying out today. So what is baby Crone doing in the kitchen? Well, here's the funny story. A wineberry. Let me show you guys a little bit closer. Yes, this beautiful thing. It's growing out my property, and it could be growing your guys' property as well. And I wanted to make wineberry jam. However, Lady Crone did not approve of it because I would be stealing from the animals, because I probably would have to literally pluck off every bush around our house to accumulate enough berries to fill up a jar. So in understanding the reasons, and as an animal lover myself, I do not want to steal from the animals. So I bought in raspberries. So the very first thing that we have to do is rinse them off. I'm gonna rinse off the wineberry. Actually, the reason why I brought the wineberry in is to show you how drastic, how drastically small a wineberry is in comparison to a raspberry. If you could see the difference between the two. So that's what we're here to do today. So we're gonna rinse these off. Plop. Oh, actually I meant to measure how many cups this was, because depending on how many cups it is, I am going to have to change the recipe. So let's see how many cups it is. Okay, just by the looks of it, it's probably 2 cups. All right, and just slightly over 2 cups, because 2 cups is marked right here. So this is 2 cups of raspberries. So therefore, I know how to modify this recipe. Wineberry goes plop. BRB. Okay, now time to swishy swish wash. So today I'm making raspberry jam. It's the first time I'm ever making jam, so I'm very excited. Oh. Once again, the wineberry has crumbled in water. Oh. Oh no, the wineberry is still here. It looks different from the rest of the raspberries. So one of these raspberries must have fallen apart. But since we did some washing, let me just check. It looks good and it looks clean. I will say in advance, I am sorry, Lady Crone. All right, and let's test it in comparison to our raspberry. Just remembering the flavor. A wineberry is like a sweeter raspberry. Delicious. All right, well, I think these are dry. So I will now go pat these off with some paper towels, BRB. All right, so a hand towel is what I grabbed. So we're just going to drain the berries off and lightly pat. I'm gonna pick one berry at a time, honestly, because I do not want these raspberries to fall apart anymore. I'm also going to have to cut them because they are pretty large. So I'll see how I like them in halves. Then they said if they're still too big to cut them into quarters. Some of them I might not have to do all the way like that. I'm actually very excited for this recipe. So let's talk a little bit about naturopathic, because the whole reason why I originally wanted to start this video is because I wanted to make a wineberry recipe to show that you guys can live off of the property and land around you. Even though we do not grow sugar or lemons on our property, I just figured, you know, if you ever want to, or if you ever need to, for example, like let's say that like markets are closed and you want jelly and there's some wineberries around your house. These wine berries do last only 3 weeks once you do make them. However, not wine berries, raspberries. These raspberries last 3 months after you have washed them and prepared them. Not 3 months, 3 weeks. However, if you do freeze these freshly out of making it and put it in the freezer, then it will last 3 months into the freezer. And then I take it and presume that once it unthaws from the freezer after those 3 months, it is still freshly being able to be used 3 weeks after that unthawing period. So there is one thing that I am not using, and that is called pectin, because a lot of recipes I saw was how to make jam without pectin. So at first I was just like, okay, let's go with that one. And then I researched a little bit what pectin was, and I'm glad I did not add pectin into the raspberries, because raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries are high in pectin, which happens to make your stools loosen. It's good for fiber and digestion and your tract to move more freely in order for you to pass a bowel movement. So because of that, these raspberries are already strong in that, so raspberry jam really doesn't need pectin. And as you see, there are some bits I'm going to have to cut off because that just doesn't look good. And so because of that, I didn't even know that, but I learned a fun fact, and so did you guys. Because the more we learn about the fruits and apparently, I'm not sure if wine berries, because I'm not sure if that just means all berries are good and are high in pectin. So according to this recipe, because I have 2 cups of raspberries, I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I am going to be using a tablespoon of lemon and a pinch of salt. Now what's very fun is that today baby Crone learned how to create a pinch of salt, because I'm sure if y'all saw my pinch of salt beforehand, you'd be like, that puny? Yes. I was like Salt Bae, just pinch, okay? So now we're gonna cut these berries in half. You can watch me as I cut them. Baby Crone will be very careful. Okay. Well, really, I should put them into the pan because this is where they're going to be cooking. And then I'm going to mash them next. Just gotta make sure my mic is good. This raspberry looks delicious. I'm sure I'm taking way longer than 20 minutes because they said the prep time is 20 minutes. But whenever baby Crone does something for the first time, 20 minutes is going to be about an hour. Exaggerating, because I'm probably going to be here for like maybe 30 minutes because I like to take my due diligence time to make sure I did everything right. And also, berries are kind of delicate. All right, I probably only need to cut this one in half. Okay. So, you guys probably don't see clearly of all the ingredients, but I do have this gigantic lemon right here where we're going to be getting our pinch of salt. and some granulated sugar. It was very interesting that this recipe did not call for water, because I'm just like, really? I do not need any water. I'm trying to get like all the good berries that I don't need to pick off of the bad parts first, so that way I can really spend my time on those, to be exact. Okay, see, I am getting so picky. I'm trying to, I don't want them too big, but I don't want them too small at the same time. So let's talk a little bit about Lionsgate as you sit here and watch me cook, and maybe you guys will feel inspired to make your own raspberry jam. Now, I will come back in a later date to come and tell you guys the results, because I do have to sit and let this cool first and then put it in the refrigerator before I can eat it. So that is definitely not going to be within the length of this video. So hopefully I enjoy it, and if I do, I think it's something I'll make. So 3 months from now, if you get, well, really, you can make raspberries any time of the year because you could buy them from the store. But if you use specifically wine berries that you find off of your property. Now, I do say I am a scientist and that I am part of the STEM field and that I'm trained to be a doctor. However, especially a naturopathic doctor, however, do eat fruit off of your property at your own risk. I am not held liable if anybody gets sick eating fruit off of their property. Because Lady Crone was very not keen on me eating wine berries. Because she was like, what about the bugs and the deer and all the animals that are breathing on the wine berries? I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I washed them off. And then apparently, we've definitely been living here longer than 3 years, but they say, we looked this up, that any fruit that grows off a tree, it has to be you can't eat the fruit off of like baby trees. Like you have to wait 3 years after the tree has planted and been growing its fruit for you to eat the fruit off the tree. No matter how ripe they may look in those 3 years, do not eat it. So that was something we also had learned. So definitely try to be careful on that, guys. That's why I said to be mindful about eating the fruit off your property. Now you're probably wondering, how does baby crone know when there is wine berries or any other type of fruit or flower on her property? Well, I have this app on my phone called iNaturalist, and you take pictures, and of course they'll be able to tell you what it is, but sometimes they won't. Like, you need like backup from the community and other people on there to clarify that this is correct, because you can misidentify it yourself and even the app, and sometimes people come back and correct me. So through that, I learn what is what and what is not. Okay. Eeh. So because of that, I found there was wine berries on my property. Now, I've learned this from my ecology and evolution class. Ecology and evolution was talking about how the biosystem evolves and how the biosystem exists just in general, both ecology, like animals, bugs, insects, plants. Yeah, actually, it's a very surprising. I used to have not a disdain, but I wanted to learn about the human body so much that I wasn't interested in learning plants. And here I am, wanting to know more about plants and everything I possibly could. You'll see that was a terrible piece. We're getting down to the ones where I gotta start being careful on what I put in and what I put out. All right. And then I have to mash it up afterwards and bring it to a simmer. Well, a boil, actually. This is very fun. I'm very excited and I cannot wait to taste it. I am definitely going to taste it tonight. So maybe I'll hold off on posting this video, or I'll do another video and come back tomorrow to tell you guys about how I like the raspberry jam. Or I could do the taste test where you taste it with me to get first genuine reactions. Also, because of this, you can modify the recipe, because sometimes the berries might be sweet, sometimes the berries might not be sweet. So depending on that, depends on how much sugar you need to add. But at the same time, we do not want too much sugar added, because too much sugar can be bad for you. Remember, this is holistic at the same time. We want it to be tasty, but also we want to be conscious of our health, because after all, we are making it at home. So we have the ability to make it as healthy or unhealthily as we want to. That's the way I take it. Because once I've seen a drastic difference of my weight when I started eating in and cooking more rather than eating out. So that's why I am definitely also turning a little bit more holistic, because I see the benefits of eating home and making my own food. And because of that, I want to teach you guys to do the same thing and be mindful of your health as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm almost done cutting these berries. Oh my gosh. Have you guys ever tried making jelly or jam at your house? I'm specifically making jam. I'm not sure if I keep calling it jelly or not. To me, jelly and jam are the same thing, but apparently there's a difference, and the difference is the consistency. Jam is a bit thicker than jelly. Jam is almost like a preservative, which might be my next step to see. Before I make preservatives, I should learn how to make jam to see if I like the jam before making the preservatives. Because soon Lady Crone and I will be making our own garden, and I'm always fascinated by the fact that I just think fruit can readily grow when it's warm. Like once winter's gone, bam, we can get fruit all year round. And because I keep forgetting that, I like want to excessively pluck off fruit, because I'm just like, oh yeah, it's gonna grow back. Yeah, in like a year, the supply you get is what you get. So, yeah, I almost stole from the animals for the literal entire season, if you really think about it like that. So I am sorry, deers and birds that enjoy this, because I did eat a wine berry like maybe 5 days ago, and I am just getting around to making the raspberry jam, because I usually don't eat raspberries or blueberries. I eat strawberries. But I didn't like the strawberry jam I had just bought from the store. Maybe I would have liked it better if I made it myself, you know? Okay. I think I'm just about done with these berries, because some of them are looking a little too much for me to want to use. Okay. And, oh, that's really soft. Okay, this looks good. Ooh. And done. Next, I have to bring this to a boil. Well, first I have to cut the lemon. And squeeze a tablespoon of lemon. I'm not sure how much of a lemon I'm going to need for that, so let's just start off with 1/4 of a lemon just to be safe, because this is a big lemon. Oh, okay, sorry about that, guys. The camera had gotten overheating. So we're going to set the saucepan on medium heat. And while we do that, let's try to figure out how we're going to get a tablespoon of a lemon. Just because I don't want to waste the lemon juice trying to squeeze it in there. I've already measured the berries, so. Oh, guys, I don't think I needed that much of a lemon. Oh my God. Especially because this lemon's so big. Oh my gosh. This slice right here just about did it. And we got a tablespoon. And woo! Actually, it's a bit twangy than sour. All right. Now, I need a 1/4 cup of sugar. You're just going to, yeah. I forgot I was going to need this cup to measure the sugar. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, it's already at a medium heat. Okay, I gotta get a 1/4 cup of sugar. But a teeny bit too much sugar, so I'm just gonna have to put this on the side. Because we don't cross-contaminate over here. All right, and then I need to get a spoon. And now the sugar. And now we're gonna start mashing it in. I wanna bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see what I'm actually doing. So as you see, it's coming to a simmer and I am just mashing it in. Hey Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes. Now I have it on low heat right now as I smush it in, because seriously, I believe medium high. No, it says medium heat. Okay, fine, but our medium heat's kind of a bit high. So we want to mush it in. We want it to not look like chunks. You can have the option to not have seeds in it, and if you want that option, the way you do it is you would strain it. I don't mind having seeds in there, so I chose not to do anything with a strainer. Can you guys see? It smells very sweet. Now the way to tell if this is done is that, oh right, yeah, the way to tell that this is done is that, well, right now you can't see it bubbling, so I haven't brought it to a boil yet. Once it comes to a boil, you're going to start seeing big bubbles and then tiny bubbles, and then you know it's good. Because then once you take it out, it's going to be on a like nice thickness. Oh, I had some sugar bits that didn't come out. That's very important. We need all the sugar we want and measured out. And if there was pectin, it would also thicken up the berries and make it more pasty and jam-wise like. However, because, as I said early, earlier, strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries are already high in pectin, so they're really going to thicken up on their own. This smells so sweet, guys. I want to eat it right now. It does smell like jam. When I first read the ingredients, I was like, you cannot be serious and tell me that making raspberry jam is just 4 ingredients: berries, lemon, sugar. That's 3 ingredients. And of course, pectin, if you want to put that in. As you guys can see, I'm not sure if you could see just well in the video, but it is starting to bubble. So as I crouch here and stir, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Lionsgate. I'm sorry, I'm just keep making sure my mic is good. So Lionsgate is opening up, actually. So why did I talk to you guys about why did I want to talk to you guys about that solar flare? Because Lionsgate, okay, to bring it into numerology a little bit. So there's 17 states that is going to be having, 17 states that are going to have the Northern Lights visible to them. And 17 states, in numerology, there's no double digits. So 1 + 7 = 8. And 8 is the number for Lionsgate, because the peak is August 8th, which is 8/8. And just like a portal, like if you think about it, 11 is always talk about a portal number because it's like a door. If you think about it, 11, doors are like 11. You walk through doors. So it's like a portal. So 8/8 is a strong portal, because in Egypt, I've done a video about this last year, but I'm briefly going over it again while I'm waiting. I think I'm gonna have to turn this down a little bit. Well, no, it said to keep it on medium heat, so I'll keep it on medium heat. It said to reduce if felt necessary, but I don't think so. So 8/8 is a portal because in Egypt, there are 3 pyramids, and the middle pyramid, when 8/8 arrives, it's like literally right above the middle pyramid. And it's, or actually no, the 3 dots line up evenly with the pyramids. And I think I'm gonna have to do a video on the Egyptians and the pyramids, because pyramids are very sacred numbers. Like in numerology, the Holy Trinity, a triangle, is the stable shape. And it makes sense, because when you look at bridges have triangles in them, and that's why they held up so stably. You don't see bridges made out of squares. When you see an arch, you don't see square arches, you see triangle arches that are alternated in these patterns. And that's because and I think it's because we're humans and we have 2 feet, that the number 4 therefore is considered stable. But really, 3 is considered stable, which is very interesting, because now that I think about it, those 3 pyramids was very important for the Lionsgate. But so during the Lionsgate on August 8th, all the time in Egypt, every year, this is something that happens every year. So like I said in the last video, if you don't want to participate this year, you can participate next year, where it's going to be even more stronger because of the solar flare that we were just talking about. But for the Lionsgate, it is very important because the number 8 is signified with transformation, but also in astrology, because I like to think of my numbers as astrology numbers. I mean, house numbers and zodiac signs. So in astrology, the 8th house is the house of death and transformation, which I'm definitely gonna have to turn this down. Which, go figure, because when you die, something transforms. Like if you think about it, the phoenix rising from the ashes, that is literally the number 8. And what the 8 symbolizes, that even though sometimes you might not like change, the change is good. And even though you might not want to welcome the change, because whoever wants to welcome death, we literally fear death. But hold on. The number 8 brings transformation, and that's what the Lionsgate's all about, is the one time of the year. I mean, there's probably some other times of the year, but like Lionsgate is really energetic if you want to bring change, because it has to deal with another star aligning with our star, and they consider that star the Sirius star that's in Orion's belt to be the higher spiritual self of us that we're able to get more in touch with now that the portal or gate is open. I don't know, y'all. And that's why it's very important if you want to see change, because change has to happen within in order for it to show outward. You can, I mean, yes, you can change the outward, but that's like changing your clothes. It doesn't work. Like, you might be like a punk rocker and put you in like Dolly princess dresses. You're still gonna rock on, but you don't look like you're gonna rock on. That's basically what the Lionsgate is doing that inner work. Because if you want to be like that pretty princess instead of being that a rocker girl, then you're gonna have to really do some inner work. All right, I swear this is done, guys. Okay, so let's turn off this eye. Let's scoop, scoop, scoop. You guys can see that. Whew. Okay, and now let's just, okay. I'm not trying to waste any of this beautiful mess I've just made. So I'm going to spoon it in. And I took it off with 6 minutes to spare. Like I said, our medium heat is not medium. But I still wanted to say I felt like I followed instructions, and it said if needed to just turn down the heat, and I did. So let's just hope, because it was literally starting to get thick. But maybe it's 20 minutes. Actually, yeah, it probably should have been 10 minutes now that I think about it. So I probably overcooked this for 4 more minutes than it needed to be, because I should have adjusted. Word of advice for people: if you're going to adjust your ingredients, adjust your cook time as well, because 20 minutes was supposed to be for 4 cups. So therefore 10 minutes should have been for 2 cups like I had. I mean, I guess I could taste it right now. Tastes almost like the raspberry jam I get from the store. A little less sweet. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are inspired to make some raspberry jam for yourselves. All right. Sunflowers. Oh yes, also, I would like to say thank you guys for all your support and your comments. I really enjoy it. It keeps me and Lady Crone encouraged. And I am glad that you guys are really enjoying my science content, because I was feeling bad for a while, because it just felt like nobody was interested in the content that I was sharing. And now suddenly there are people out there that are enjoying my content and are coming forth and sharing their opinions. And I love you guys for that. So thank you for your continuous support. It really does mean a lot. And soon I will have a donations link open for anybody that would like to donate to our channel, whether it's to help me or Lady Crone. All right, with that being said, I love you guys, and I hope you enjoy your Tuesday. Oh, and because it's Tuesday, remember Thursday if you live in any of the 17 states in the United States, you might get to see Northern Lights, and hopefully I will be able to get to see it here in Maryland. Fingers crossed. Sunflowers.